Right. Well, in the ongoing saga of not really having a creative plan, because I'm not a real creative, I did come up with another illustration, which is good enough in my mind to start inking. So, dip pen, ink, all the kind of standard stuff you need to pull one of these things off. I also have a timer on, so you might hear a beep while I plug away here and hit the camera. Unfortunately, I just don't know what it is I want to try to achieve with this story and this project. I have a guy at work that is pretty good with voices, and as I run some role playing games, I did ask him to do a couple voices, and he just knocked it out of the park. And I said, I always pick up these little side projects, and I like to mess around with ideas. Do you maybe want to do a voice? And he's not a creative guy. He just likes to goof around and be funny at work. So he's a little hesitant, but I said, "Do you want to be a main character? What kind of character? Like a sidekick, a background character?" And it's kind of I almost want to say a cold acceptance. I mean, he just likes doing stuff for the fun of it. He likes real person interaction more than this other online recording stuff. I showed him the software and he's been messing around with it for his own ideas, but if you're good at something, his rule is you should get paid for it. And I'm like, well, I have no idea what this is. I have no idea if there's anything to be paid, so to speak. I don't even know what I want to do with this. So, I really wanted to push the boundaries on this character design. Definitely a female-esque character. Uh, Kind of has some masculine features, though. Very muscular, anyways. And I was thinking, man, is this the kind of story I want to tell? Is this the character I really want to put out in public? I just don't know it. It doesn't feel like a main character. But again, I'm still struggling with themes, struggling with ideas. What am I going to do with this? Right now, it's a whole lot of nothing. Doing a whole lot of nothing but getting ideas down. So, as YouTube tells me, there's limits to the length of my videos because, again, I'm not a pro anything. I just do stuff, explore, try to have fun with it. But this character is a potential support character. 100% there. What will this character be or do? I don't know as of yet, but they're kind of hanging out naked. Because how do you give a costume to a character if you don't know the theme or genre, right? Let's face it, most superheroes are naked anyways. They just kind of trace a logo over top of muscles. It's like body paint heroes, right? You don't see a whole lot of clothing wrinkles and that sort of thing. Man, my eyes are so bad. I took my glasses off because my eyes are getting tired. Definitely need more sleep, but that's not happening when you have a creative drive. I think it's important to ink your work and at least define it a little more sharply, no matter what it is you're doing. I know, as I dip my pen back in, one thing that I wanted to do was mess around with a little bit of a silhouette now. Because this character is almost non-binary-ish, I don't know if it's going to have a masculine voice or a female voice, but I'm thinking female, but and and no disrespect. I mean, to people out there, but when you're trying to define sci-fi, what is sci-fi? what is Western, what is fairyland-ish. There's so many uh, aliens movies that are done in a way that are nondescript. So that was something I'm pursuing. Will this be a sci-fi tale? Will this be something else entirely? I don't know. I hate to, you know, sound like a person that's unequal with some of the great creators out there, but they all have the same struggle. When they're trying to define their character or characters, they pull from things that they love and then they try to put it all together. And by no means am I going to do justice to any character or group out there, directly or indirectly, but uh, it was not my intention actually. I was looking for a alien type character, and it just started to evolve kind of female-ish. Because when you think of the alien movies, they have the queen alien who's lays these eggs which come out to turn into face huggers, and I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking a lot about sci-fi at this point. Do I want this to be sci-fi? Do I want this to be the next Predator or Aliens kind of character show? Like I said, I don't want to put myself on level with those greats, but how does it all work, right? Like, how do you get your idea? So, for now, I'm going to put a pin in this one because it's an interesting character for sure visually. Almost like a hag, but I don't know. There's a small Iggy Pop resemblance here, if you guys are familiar with rock and roll. I'm not a rock and roll fan, I'm a big country fan, but it's hard to ignore names that get so big and famous. So at some point I saw an image of Iggy Pop and kind of threw that in here a little bit. Yeah, he's an interesting body. So does Mick Jagger, though. I mean, when you're looking at characters and body references, definitely look at Mick Jagger and Iggy Pop. They have a anatomy that is defying normal, normal looks, because part of it is age too. Like the fact that these people, celebrities, can maintain bodies a certain way is pretty interesting. But it's almost alien-like in itself. So yeah, chucking down ink. That's all I'm doing. Now, a pro inker might be out there and might see this and say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong." Well, I know. What I'm going for here is just to better define what I'm seeing. I think too is the plan has always been to use paint as a medium in some way, whether I digitally paint it or something else. I'm still thinking gouache is is going to be my base use, and then I might finish with introduce acrylics and digital into the color scheme. But I think traditional painting certainly gives you brushstrokes and stuff that are missed in digital. There's a lot of people that try to emulate the uh, the painting. So yeah, I will make a copy of this and onto a board. But I really wanted a really good defined image to start with here. Oh yeah, it's kind of a chore. Constantly thinking about, okay, where's this gonna go? Is this a character I want to use? There's so many artists that create things that they end up putting a pin in it. Like literally, they put time and effort into a lot of ideas. Every movie studio will tell you this. Every animation studio will tell you this. From storyboards to story to character design and concepts, and it's sometimes you just have to walk away from something because it just doesn't work for what you're trying to do at the moment. But I'm hopeful this one has a little potential because it may tie into a much bigger story. Not that I'm trying to do a feature film or anything like that, but I think I think as just generally speaking, when you go through school, they teach you three act stories. It's pretty basic, and that's been pretty ingrained in me. So I need to have a character or characters or a strong enough story that will carry through three acts or three parts, whether it's one book, one story, or something great, more grand. You probably can't see what I'm inking at this point. It's just the lower arm and lower part of the torso, but that's fine. I just want to be moving the camera around. It's hard enough negotiating the space that I'm working in with the camera. So I mean, this part will be blocked out with a darker color when I hit it with paint. It's interesting because I've dabbled with comic art, and I can tell you that doing panels, you're drawing the same character dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of times, depending on the story. You get really good at it, and you almost have the character evolve on you, because some things feel right, some things just, I mean, visually speaking, and then you're like, yeah, that defines the character better. But this is a one-off. This is just a, is there a story here? Is this character going to be something? I don't know yet. Yeah, I had somebody say to me, your art's kind of reminiscent of like a lot of the '90s stuff, but to this day, the greatest artists are still from that era. I'm not saying there aren't other great artists out there. I mean, there are. It's just there's a big difference between somebody who does one illustration that's amazing and then sells it versus a comic artist who has to replicate the same look of a character 1,000 different ways for a story. You certainly have to show a little respect for that industry. It's too bad it's comics are just going through a bunch of stuff right now. You can't really make a living at it, it seems, as an artist, and then you have the AI stuff, and like, where do these guys go? I've seen a few people actually do their own scripts and stuff, and as a creator, you want as much control as you can nowadays. It just makes sense. And if your movie starts off as a comic that you've created, that's pretty cool. If you go the movie route, I don't know. In Canada, I just don't know if there's a movie industry. I just not in there, so I don't know. I know we have a theater industry. We have people that put on plays and actors that do that. But it just doesn't feel like it's like a big thing. It's just people kind of like, oh, I've got my day job as a doctor, but I moonlight as a theater performer or director or whatever it is people do there. I again don't know. Brutally curious. I think as a creative person, I'd like to explore more of those avenues of, how do they design a set? How do they do all this stuff? And I think I have the skills to creatively to do just about anything. It's just, can you do it and make a living? I just don't know. Because if one industry starts to suffer, whether it's comic industry or movie industry, then you have to wonder if theater and all these other little creative outlets are suffering too. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because you're also trying to design something and create something that not only you want to do and enjoy, but you're hoping other people will see your work and it'll resonate with them, right? Especially as a creator-owned artist, if you have a style, I guess is the best way to put it. Please like my style. Yeah, I've seen so much Simon Bisley stuff and uh, just love it. Gonzo, if you guys don't know Gonzo, he's a really older artist, and Ralph Steadman's his name, but he goes by Gonzo. He signs his work Gonzo. I'm not too sure why. Yeah. So you're just witnessing a bit of a creative process. Again, print will be made. I'll throw paint on it. I don't know if I'll share that part of it, but sorry, I keep hitting the camera because I'm blind. I took my glasses off. That's okay. I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out for a short video like this. Okay, I think I'm just about done here. Gotta take a break anyways. But if I show a finished image, you just know that I'll probably finish it off camera. I do gotta get some sleep in sometime today. Some of us have to make a living doing real work, get our hands dirty. Literally and figuratively. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching and taking the time. And if another image comes up or idea, I'll definitely share some of that as well.